Hi, I'm Roman, and I've been a filmmaker for the past 3 years doing stuff like weddings and YouTube. And in the last video, I reacted to The Outside by 21 Pilots, which you can watch up here or here. But one of you guys commented saying, why don't you react to Cannonballers by Colony House? So I've never heard of Colony House, but I decided to check it out, and I didn't watch the entire thing because I wanted this reaction to be kind of like a first time, but I did kind of scan through and it looked pretty interesting from what I saw. So without any further ado, let's get into it. First, it starts out with this pan up from this track with all these little cars on it, and then it goes up to an actual car, which I honestly have almost no idea how they actually pulled this one off, but my guess is that there was some sort of track attached to the car that was attached to the camera rig. I don't know, this is insane. And not only that, then as soon as the camera pans up, it zooms out into this fisheye kind of vignette sort of lens frame. This is really cool effect. This usually could be done using a certain type of lens that protrudes too far, lens extender. There's ways to make this happen, but either way, it's a really cool effect. Also, color grading, love it. Looks very vintage. I like the look, personally. And then the cool thing is that that shot of the car transitions into the shot of the band in using that circular framing. Now this shot is really nice. It's black and white, obviously, but you can tell there's been a little bit of, there's just one light. But you can tell there's just one light, and that light is directly behind the main singer, and it's literally just outlining the edge of his body. And it looks really nice because it just slightly wraps around, so it's not a complete silhouette, but you still get the feeling of mystery and not knowing what exactly he looks like. Whoa. Gonna have to watch this again. So this is another black and white shot of, I think it's the same, might be a different car, but they start out on this wide and do what is called a dolly zoom. So this is basically the camera zooming in, and the background's kind of like morphing. But it's not a total dolly zoom because they're kind of moving at the same rate. Usually with a dolly zoom, you're zooming out while pushing in on the subject, so like physically moving the camera towards the subject, or vice versa, zooming in while pulling out physically. But this seems to be kind of a mix where the car might be moving a little bit faster and then it kind of like zooms in. I don't know, it's insane. This is really, really good and very difficult to pull off in reality, so. And that's just really cool right here. They use a split screen effect, but it looks like the second one might have been inverted or just darkened a lot. And they added the skeleton animation on top, which is a really cool effect that I quite like. It looks really unique, and it's something that belongs in a music video. And on the left, you can see this appears to have been shot on either on a vintage lens, or they use some sort of like prism blur in editing to give it that chromatic aberration effect around his profile. Ooh. And again, black and white. Looks like there's one light lighting everybody. And then they put this red square on the middle just as a cool effect, really. I don't think there's a specific reason why it's there, but it does look cool. Again, skeleton animation outline. Trust me, animation takes a long time. My last channel was all about animation, and I know this takes a long time to do. Okay, let's watch that part again. Now again, here's a very contrasty scene, black and white. It gives it a very industrial kind of rock and roll feeling, makes it feel kind of vintage. With the contrast, makes it feel a little bit lower quality than the camera actually is shooting at. And this just is a really cool effect. Now they use the wipe from using the motion of the car as a wipe into the guitarist against a plain white background, probably the sky. Wow. And then there's like this really fast whip right on over to the singer. And this could either be they actually like split the cameras in editing, so they're not actually sitting next to each other, or it could be they are sitting next to each other and he actually whipped it that fast. Either way, it looks cool. And then right here, split screen again. So yeah, this is definitely a split screen. But now they have inverted the colors, so all the black parts of the image are white, all the white parts of the image are black. I see a lot of these really fast motions going into the drummer, going into the guitarist, going into the singer. It keeps it moving at a really fast pace, which is what they were going for. It almost looks like they used some sort of like circle cutout and moved it around. That's my guess. And now you can see they actually do have one light right up here, and they probably have another light over here. So I was wrong. They probably have two lights. Why are you running? This part's cool too. This whole music video is really interesting, but this part, you have that little motion effect going in right there, and then you have this cool split screen again, just a mirror image, animation overlay, looks really good. Now a lot of this is very traditional music video style, very wide. Singers are moving around, doing different things, the musicians, and it's a very traditional look, which is cool. They mixed a lot of different styles. And this is the black and white, more of the experimental style. Also, doing this text effect with going behind, they have to do that in editing. They have to actually cut out the objects and animate it behind it. It's extremely difficult. I have tried to do it, and I don't ever want to do it again. So props to them for doing it. Now you can actually see there is one light right here, and like we saw earlier, there's one to the left of the singer. So there are two lights, and these are both just probably monolights, so cob lights, maybe aperture 300Ds on with a big softbox that helps it give it that wraparound look. So this is cool. They just took the flag, dropped it through the frame, and filmed in slow motion, and then overlaid this shot on top. There's so many things I could talk about, but overall it just looks really good. Match cuts, a lot of cutting. That's a really nice shot. Right here, the framing with the symmetry, having the two shipping containers on both sides, having all the musicians evenly balanced, 1, 2, 3, 4, the car, the background, the trees, the different doors, this platform, it all looks really nice. And the color grade is also excellent, like I mentioned earlier. I love how they're using a lot of in-camera effects, like zooming in, zooming out, whip pans to give it this feeling of energy. There's so many effects, I can't even explain all of them, to be honest. Wow. I can't imagine how long this took, honestly. This is insane. Again, lots of wide shots. Just, I can't explain how they did this. Again, they used that really cool effect. They pulled out really fast, turned the camera, and then they added the vignette and transitioned to black and white at the same time, and added some of that glitch that we've been seeing throughout the entire music video. And with that thing that he does with his hand right there, you see on a lot of music videos to help do a transition, and it looks really good and it helps transition, obviously. I've got to say, most of this is just, these editors are insane. Whoever did the visual effects on this, wow. Most of this is VFX. The rotating is probably in camera. Air guitar with the animation, that's really cool too. This video keeps pounding me with so many effects. I can't even like comprehend how they made this, honestly. This is really good. It's really cool how they made that like back and forth, really fast movement, kind of like a little stop motion sort of thing. This is all very, very wide, low angles, very common in music videos. The animation, again, really, really good. And I love the general feel of this. It kind of feels like an early 2000s, maybe 90s, sort of that homemade movie, which we saw earlier in one of the scenes. One of the band members was holding like a little camcorder. And so that kind of ties it in, the kind of the vintage feeling. They did a really good job with this, whoever made the music video. Wow, just insane. Oh, and back out. Back out to the little car track right here. So I get the feeling that there was some sort of hidden meaning behind a lot of this, a lot of these elements. I'm not really into the band, so I wouldn't know. But if you do know, feel free to let me know in the comments below. And if you want to see other reactions to music videos, please also let me know in the comments below. This is actually a reaction to something that somebody sent to me. So I will definitely see your comment and I will take it into consideration. Overall, this music video was amazing, like you saw. I just can't begin to say how long this took. I'm just gonna say to whoever made this, whoever edited this, you did a great job. Please keep doing what you're doing. All right, that's all for now, and I'll see you next time.